market, and also lifestyle, and we'll go over that. So here we see that there are certain neighborhoods on the Upper East Side where there is, the rents are going down. So Lenox Hill, there's 2% growth and this is from mid-2012 to mid-2013. This is a report that's done by Nancy Pax, and she does it year after year, a rental report. So most of the data information that I've taken is from that report. And she does a very good job. She does a very, very thorough job on it. So Yorkville, you see, is the area where there's 9% decline within a year. And it's quite shocking. Midtown Studios, there's 4% decline, and Midtown East actually is a 2% decline, and Murray Hill and Kingsville, there has been no change, it's just flat from year to year. And that's also something very unusual because rents are usually going up. There's never been any trajectory like that. Yes, question?
Growth refers to the number of apartments or the average price per apartment?
It's not the number, it's the price. The price and the number is actually, the number is whenever there's a decline in numbers, then the prices are going to go up. But the numbers have, we'll go to that slide, but the numbers like in Manhattan, in these value-oriented areas, there are 170,000 apartments. Whereas in Brooklyn and Queens combined, it's about, I can't remember the top of the head, but somewhere about double-digit thousands. So that's the difference. And like we talked about, the downtown, even in sales market also, it's very, very highly desirable. In sales, it's the Upper West Side and downtown where the inventory is very low. And why is it called a seller's market right now? Because the inventory is very, very slim. The reason being there are not that many resales on the market, and the new development is in the pipeline. There's not enough new development that's available. So when there is a 6 months supply, then the market is in balance. When there is less than 6 months supply, then it becomes a seller's market because the supply is less. And when it becomes more than 6 months supply, in terms of how long will it take for all these apartments to rent. So when it takes 9 months to rent, then that means there's way too much supply, and that's when the prices also come down. So even in the sales market, you see that it's seller's market, and the inventory is very slim. So that's also affecting the rental market. Part of it is there's one thought that that there's decline in rent and not that many people looking for rent because people are going towards buying at this time because they are trying to take advantage of the market right now. The mortgage interest rate is very low. How long is it going to stay low? We do not know. The Fed keep threatening every month or so. They keep coming out and saying, oh, we are going to get out of bond buying, and what would that entail? That the interest rates will go up. So everybody is trying to make sure that they're doing the right thing and they're doing things in the best interest that will cover them for the long term. So here's the story of the one bedroom. Now from the studio to one bedroom, you see mostly in the value-oriented neighborhoods there's a decline, but in the neighborhoods which are very highly desirable on the lower in downtown, see the growth is somewhere in double digits or even almost going to double digits. Like Westwood is 9%. That's a very robust, very good market. So it's a mixed market, and there are very many different stories that are taking place at the same time. And as we go to the two-bedroom rentals, there's again a huge decline. And even on the Upper East Side, you see that's why I put this, that even on the Upper East Side, there are some neighborhoods where in the two-bedroom apartments, the rental market is going up. Lenox Hill is going by 2%, and Upper East Side in overall is 5% growth. So it's again what exactly you are looking for, what exactly you are in the market for, what your position is in the market, that dictates where you will be. So this is what we were talking about, that that currently in Brooklyn there are 4,500 apartments and approximately another 4,000 that are likely to come. So by 2014 they're talking about 8,500 apartments. In Queens there are 4,300 apartments right now, and by 2014 it will be 5,500 in total. So like in Brooklyn and Queens there are 14,000 apartments, whereas in the value-oriented neighborhoods in Manhattan it's 170,000 apartments. So that's another reason that where there's too much supply, so it's likely to be. Another reason for people going over to Brooklyn and not staying in Manhattan, it's all a matter of lifestyle. Up until, as you know, the financial sector used to be the strongest sector in Manhattan, in New York City, and that was the sector that was employing most of the people. That was the sector which was renting or buying most of the real estate in the market. And financial sector, there has been a decrease. There's less growth in employment. They're rather laying off people than hiring more people. What are the industries that are hiring now? It's the service industries. It's the marketing industry, and then it's the tech sector. So when marketing industry and financial sector pays very well, because the financial sector pays very well, people from those sectors, when they are renting, they go and they don't care what the rent is on the market. They'll just go and rent. But the advertising and marketing sector, they're hiring. The growth is in those sectors, but there are not that kind of salaries in those sectors. So they cannot even afford that kind of rented space. The other thing is their lifestyle is also different. Financial sector, people are working, what are the hours they work? They are working crazy hours. They're working from 9 o'clock in the morning till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And then they just have like a little tiny window to sleep, and then the next day they have to come back to it. So they want to be very close to their workplace. They cannot afford to go, live in the outer borough, because then every night, even if they're taking a cab, the cab also will take like 40-45 minutes to, drive them back. So that's why they always want to stay very close to their workplace. With the tech group, the techies are, the hippies. They are the best of all. The companies pay them very well, but they have a very eclectic lifestyle. They don't care about being in Manhattan. They don't want to be in Manhattan. They want to be somewhere different. They are very different. They want to identify themselves by being different. They want to identify themselves with places where other places are not harmful. So that's the crowd that's moving towards outer boroughs. Another sector that was, highly paid and paid high rents was the legal services, the attorneys, the lawyers. That's another sector which has been hard hit, and there's been downturn in that industry rather than growth in that industry. So that also affects the market. Primarily, I think everything that happens in real estate doesn't happen on its own. It's all very linked and connected with employment, job growth, and the sectors that are growing, and it's all meshed together, and that's what puts the story together. So that's the reason that we are seeing that there's a trend of people moving out of Manhattan and they're going to the outer boroughs. But let's look at the next slide. That's very interesting. And that tells you, the numbers really tell you. Like, look at the studio apartments in Manhattan. Year after year, there was growth in rent up until 2013. Look at 2012, 2007, 41, and 2013 is 2007, 60. Not much. Even though there's 4% growth, this is the overall market. This is not a particular neighborhood, it's the entire Manhattan, which is taking into consideration your Upper West Side, downtown, everything. But even if you look at the numbers, you see that, as we're heading into 2013, there's slight, shakiness in the market, that the numbers are not increasing as they were increasing before. But if you look at Brooklyn, in 2009, the studios were 2,271, and 2010, Brooklyn was, it seems like, was hard hit in terms of rental. Everything came down in every sector, every category, the prices came down. And then in 2011, they went up, but from 2011 to 2012, see the exponential difference, how huge the difference is. And look at in terms of percentage, that in studios, they have growth by 12%. In 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom, the growth is by 9%. So that just shows where the market is going, where the trends are. Brooklyn, they say, is, what do they say, is the next borough after Manhattan, that, the growth is being seen, and the trends are that Brooklyn is the new, talk of the town. But regardless, because of the size of the inventory, I don't think that, there's ever going to be a situation where one neighborhood or one borough is going to be competing or being on top. But the competition is between the value-oriented neighborhoods and the boroughs, and that competition will keep going on because people have become, a few years ago, I guess people were not that value-minded. People always cared for value. We always wanted to find what is best for our money. But a few years ago, before the recession, the mindset in US was different. People earn money, they spend money. But now every penny that they earn, they see how hard-earned it is. They want to see where it's going, where their money is going, what they're getting for it.